I know I said in my last video about AI-generated people scamming people with their overly expensive products that would be my last one unless there's a proper development. However, there has been a slight development. It was actually something I missed that's very important. I recently learned in a video that this guy made on the same topic that they are indeed stealing the products and reselling them. I already mentioned in the last one that I wouldn't be surprised if this were happening since this has already been a thing with scams like this, but this confirms it. And not only are they stealing the products, but they're also stealing artists' videos of them with their products and turning them into minorities with AI when they use these videos to resell the products as their own, which effectively means they're literally doing blackface.
Lauren spent 7 years as an art teacher before going full-time into ceramics in 2023. She makes mugs inspired by fantasy books. This February, Lauren's inbox blew up because other accounts were posting her work as their own. AI-generated artists in fake studios making her exact mugs from scratch.
You can find a whole bunch of examples of artists getting their art blatantly stolen by AI with just a quick search.
But all of those happen to be our AI-generated copies of my images. And I found hundreds of them in the past few days shared across platforms like Facebook, Reddit, and X.
There is a bunch of those works made by AI based on my illustrations. And let's say this is upsetting.
There was recently a situation where someone used AI to colorize one of Ansel Adams' old black and white photos and sold it for money. Despite the image still having copyright, it was declared that since they used AI, it was transformative, even though it was otherwise just a straight-out copy of Adams' work. We need some actual laws against this stuff because people don't even have a good way to fight back after their art is stolen. There's not much you can do when the lines are so pointlessly blurred. There are Chinese bots scraping small artists' websites to steal it all, and that's just not going to get pushback? Please do watch Jeremy Carrasco's whole video on it because he goes into a lot more depth than I do, and it's a very important subject of part of a messed up situation affecting very real artists who are having their products restolen for these evil AI grifters, and the word needs to be spread. That being said, if you come across any of these AI-generated videos of autistic children stealing their mugs or something, do not leave a hate comment or anything. Just support the video and be fun. That is the only thing we can do to stop things like this. Engagement gives them money, which in turn fuels their ability to steal artists' work en masse. Stop it, Cole. Stop. Stop. I don't get this idea that AI is just some inevitable force that we all have to succumb to. I know that's a sentiment a lot of people have repeated, but it's just insane. Why are we just letting this happen? Art is literally art because it's made by humans. I've seen things like, AI can finally show us what artists wanted us to see. And it's like, no, I don't think that was the intention of Starry Night. You're just regenerating it, putting words in artists' mouths, and calling it reimagining, and you can get away with that because they have no control. Also, this just looks like trash anyway. Completely takes the soul and intention out of Van Gogh's painting. I really hate it when people say we're gatekeeping art for artists who use AI to communicate their art because they're such terrible artists. You all never had a problem with being unable to draw before this was a thing. You're not even actually drawing anything anyway. You're typing a prompt into a robot. If you were actually passionate about the process of creating this art, you wouldn't care about how bad your drawing skills are. And I just can't feel sympathetic for someone who's basically admitting, yeah, I'm lazy, so I'm going to have a robot make my vision for me. If that's what you call gatekeeping art, then I'm happy to gatekeep art because it's fundamentally against the whole idea of art in the first place, and see no good reason why I should accept your lazy ass as art when you're not actually doing anything yourself. Thank you for watching, and thank you for 17K, even though that happened a couple weeks ago. Now, perhaps it's time to stop grifting off of this one video.
So you actually make this?
Yeah, I make them in my garage.